There's a cyclist over there. There's a car here. The car wants to park over there, veers right and will crash into a cyclist or a moped. We're focusing on the Kleverpark district, right behind Haarlem train station, with several schools, ice cream parlours and small parks. Let's have a look at what the traffic situation is like. You'll see that most accidents happen over the entire route of the Straat. At some point, the council decided it was probably better to replace the fixed bollard with a flexible one, otherwise they would have to replace it every week. How often is there an incident? There's about a car every week driving into it. This is a two-way street, so if a child wants to go and get an ice cream here, they can only do so when accompanied. It's my biggest nightmare that a child is so keen to have a nice ice cream, or that they've just been and got one, and then they cross the road like that to the park while there's a car coming at high speed, because people don't respect the 30km/h zone which starts over there. If we follow the road north, we arrive at the roundabout on the Kleverpark Weg. Here you can immediately see that cyclists who go straight ahead have to wait for the bus, which turns right. Another interesting point, if you follow the road, is that the bus has to cross over and use all of the cycle lane here, which of course has already caused accidents before. The solution? No buses here, or move the cycle lane so it passes behind the bus shelter. Here you can see how a lorry at high speed overtakes a child on a skateboard on the narrowest part of the road. Would you let your child go to school on their own in this Kleverpark district? People bought a house here because the primary schools are conveniently close by, but the children can no longer go to those schools on their own. Pay special attention to the children on scooters. And of course at 8:15 a.m. the cars start arriving as well, and that's when you can see that children really get into very difficult situations. On top of that, there's a bus which passes at full speed, and people arriving late who park on the pavement. And then have a look at this red Tesla and see the effect it has on all the children that arrive on foot, scooter or by bike. The arrow points at the children, but in the far left corner you can already see the white Tesla arriving to drop their children in front of the school gates. The white Tesla can't see the cyclist on its right. Teslas, with all their sensors, are cars that should not drive in the centre of town anyway. The red arrow points at the child, but you should actually pay close attention to the truck delivering goods to the supermarket a bit further down. The delivery truck has been on the road for about 25 minutes, loading and unloading from 8 a.m. until 8:25. It's clear that this truck structurally causes children to move out of the cycle lane and into the road, and creates a really dangerous situation at the busiest time of the day. Check out the black VW, which arrives at full speed and of course does not give the right of way to the little boy on the red scooter. The most interesting thing is that there's no pedestrian crossing here, while they did make one at the school 100 metres further down. At School A, there are gates on the pavement to protect children on their scooters, but 100 metres further down there are no such gates, and that's at the entrance. Now let's have a look at the Kleverpark district, which was built for families with children through the eyes of a child. And then we notice everything the child cannot see. That's not even taking into account the way a child's mind works. Check out the traffic light, which only gives a green light to cross halfway, after which the child and mum have to wait. Everything here is focused on the free flow of cars, rather than on pedestrians or cyclists. Have a look at the obstacle for this cyclist, who is actually supposed to veer all the way to the right first, to then make a U-turn. But of course, this cyclist cuts the corner and cycles into the traffic for a little bit instead. And then just see what would happen if a lorry were to turn the corner at 40 kilometers an hour. It would never have the chance to see that child. And all of this is caused by the way we design crossings. In short, the situation in the Kleverpark district, where children want to go to school independently, hinders the freedom of children to do so.